Today we are going to discuss about purification of water. As we know, in universe, pure water does not exist. So pure water may, you can say, contains the various type of the impurities like physical impurities, chemical impurities, and biological impurities.
Biological impurity.
Before consumption, it must be free from physical, chemical, and biological impurities. So there are two ways of purification of water, or you can say just like use purpose or capacity based, we can say. So for when we are going for purification of water on larger scale, it you can say comes under, or it works on three principles. First is, or three process or three steps, you can say, of purifications. First is the storage, second filtration, and third disinfection. That you can say for water purification, disinfection is synonymous with chlorination of water. So purification of water on larger scale includes the first stage, first step, that is the storage. So storage has some, you can say, importance role in, you can say, natural purification mechanism. It works under natural purification systems, and that have capability to reduce the physical, chemical, as well as biological, you can say, contaminations. Water quality again by storage improves. About 90% of the suspended particles gets settled down by the, you can say, gravitational force or like allow again the penetration of light, and that's why it again the burden of, you can say, the purification or filtration mechanisms. In chemical, it again it oxidizes during the storage. Organic matter gets oxidized by the actions of the microbes, and there is a decrease in the, you can say, free ammonia concentrations, as well as there is increase in the nitrate concentration of the waters. In biological quality, most of the, you can say, pathogenic organisms gradually gets die out, and in river water, about 90% there is a decrease in bacterial counts when you are going for a storage up to 5 to 7 days. If you are going to store water for 5 to 7 days, there is a, you can say, 90% there is decrease in the total bacterial counts of the water. So there is optimal storage period recommended. Have to store the water at least for 10 to 14 days. But if you are going to store for more longer times, then there is development of a growth of, you can say, some aquatic vegetations that again imparts the bad color and the smells of the waters. Second, you can say steps, the filtrations. So filtrations have a role in removal of the what you can say 98 to 99% of the total microbial loads on the waters. And there are two type of the filtration mechanisms, you can say, or filters we can use. One is first is the biological filters, and it is also known as slow sand filters. And second is the mechanical filter, and that is known as rapid sand filters. Biological, it is slow sand filter. It known as, you can say, biological filter because it's the actions for removal of the microorganism based on, you can say, that is bioorganisms. And in mechanicals, a rapid sand filter acts as a mechanical filter, just like a strainers, because it's only strains the water for, you can say, removal of these physical, chemical, and biological contamination. So biological or slow sand filters first times used, you can say, in the Scotland in 1804, and it have four elements. First is the supernatant water, second bed of graded sands or gravels, third is the under drainage systems, and fourth is the filter control valve. So now we can see one by one. Topmost of the filtration unit is the supernatant water. It have a depth of 1 to 1.5 meter, and that's you can say volume of the water you have to maintain at a constant level, and it fulfills the various purposes, like it, you can say, it maintains just to maintain the flow rate of the constant flow rate of the water. Have a wetting period of about 3 to 12 hours. So water, each and every, you can see, the molecules of the water have to, you can say, stay in the water tank for a period of 3 to 12 hour. It has, you can again during the storage or supernatant water goes for partial, you can say, purifications by the mechanism of sedimentation, oxidation, particle agglomeration. So here we can see the, you can say the sections of the filter bed. That's sand particles, coarse sand particles, fine gravels, followed by coarse gravels, and in coarse gravel there is a perforated pipes to carry out the water molecules. Second part of this filtration unit is the sand bed, one of the most important part of the filters. And again, we have to consider about the quality of the sand particles. So sand particles that used in, you can say, in slow sand filters are round in shape with, you can say, 0.15 to 0.35 centimeters per diameters, and that must be clean and free from the clay or organic matters. Sand beds is mainly supported by the graded gravels, that is coarse sand, fine gravels, or you can say, and coarse gravels. The sand beds presents the actually larger surface area. The smaller particles, as we know, have a lot of smaller particles, leads to the large number of the large surface area, we can say. So 1 cubic meters of sand surface or sand area equal to 50,000 meter a square meter of, you can say, surface area. So slow passage of water, but actually this flows, the water passes through the, you can say, sand beds, actually moves slowly, at least 2 hours, or it requires 2 hours or some more times during passage. Again, there are various, you can say, mechanism of purifications takes place, like mechanical staining. Actually, when the sand beds newly developed, it only slow sand filters newly established, it only acts as a mechanical stainer, nothing else. So as soon as the time passes out, there are certain types of the, you can say, vegetatives or vegetation growth that we see in the later slides that develops, and that's actually the work of slow sand filter starts after the development of the certain types of the vegetative, or you can say, microbial flora. Next, it may act purify waters by, you can say, by the process of the sedimentation, adsorption, oxidations, as well as microbiological action. So the water, it has flow rate of, you can say, 0.1 to 0.4 cubic meter per hour per square meter surface area. The major, most important component of this slow sand filter, by which it differs from the rapid sand filters, is called as vital layer. Names, that's white formation of vital layer is also known as Wurtz-Dekke layer, jugular layer, or you can say biological layer. It is considered as the heart of slow sand filter. नहीं भूलना है इस एग्जाम के लिए भी, ठीक है, most commonly asked questions examinations. So when, you can say, vital layer fully formed, it's about 2 to 3 centimeter thick area. It is a slimy gelatinous layer containing threads like algae or other microscopic form of the life. Formation of vital layer is called as ripening of the biological filter or slow sand filter. Until formation of vital layer does not take place, the water is only base stage, that you can say not considered as filtered water. So it have again certain types of the, you can say, additions in purifications of the waters, because it removes the organic matter present in the water. It traps the microorganisms present in the water. It again oxidizes the ammonical nitrogens into the nitrates. And finally, it leads to the mostly, you can say, bacteria. So next is the under drainage system. So slow sand filters, or you can say they're fitted with the under drainage systems, that is a, you can say, constituted by a porous or perforated pipes for drainage of the water supports. So it is below the, you can say, coarse grain or inside the, you can say, coarse gravels layer. So all these things actually fitted into a filter box, that is a open rectangular box of 2.5 to 4 meter deep, or it's maybe below the, situated below the grounds. And these again supernatant water, sand beds, gravel support, filter bottoms actually at given height is fitted into the filter box. So filter controls, actually these filter, all the, you can say the work of the filter is, you can say, or efficiency of the filter is regulated by a filter control valve, and that is most commonly known as the Venturi meter. So it actually controls the flow of the water and maintain the, you can say, the water head. Water head means constant flow of the water. When after a long time of running of the slow sand filters, the filter gets, you can say, there is buildup of resistance. So we have to we have to keep open of the Venturi meter to maintain the constant flow of the waters to the filter beds. So now after a long time or after few months, you can say the filter may gets dirty, or you can say it loses its proper efficiency of working. So we have to, that is the time of, you can say, cleaning of the filters. So at the time when we need or we have to fully open the Venturi meters, it's advised to clean the, you can say, filter beds. So the cleaning of the, you can say, slow sand filters performed by the mechanism of scraping. So you have to scrape the top of the vital layer up to 1 to 2 centimeter of depth, and after, you can say, about 20 to 30 scraping, that is the time of the closing of the filter units, and you need to, you can say, construct a new bed or new filter beds or sand beds when the bed height, or you can say, is about 0.5 to 8 meter remain. So that again, you can say, that is the time of construction of the new filter bed. There are certain advantages of the, you can say, slow sand filters. So it is again simple to construct and simple to operate, and it again, you can say, cheaper than the rapid sand filters. So it produces the very good quality of waters, that you can say physical quality, chemical quality, as well as bacteriological quality. So it again reduces the total bacterial count up to 99.9% to 99.9%, and you can say the particularly Escherichia coli count up to 99 to 99.9%. So second type of the filters that are used for large scale purification of water is rapid sand filters, that's also known as mechanical filters. So this filter first time, rapid sand filter first time used in, you can say, USA in during the 1885, and it have actually two types. One is the maybe gravity, that works on gravitational force, and the second is the pressure type, that based on, you can say, the pressures. So here there is no need of storage of the water. We can directly purify water from the source. So in the diagram you can see first is the river waters. So river waters can be treated directly for, you can say, large scale, or you can say rapid sand filtrations. Process for rapid sand filtrations. First, we have to treat, there are various steps. So first, we have to treat the different concentration of alum based on, you can see, the turbidity of water, or likewise. Second, there is a mixing chamber. So here we have to mix rapidly with paddles or mechanical mixer. So all the alums particles gets mixed properly or uniformly around in the waters, and that leads to the agglomeration of the, you can say, suspended particles, and finally settlement of the. So next is the flocculus chamber. Here we mix, slowly mixing of the, you can say, of the waters, that leads to the development of flocculates or agglomerates, likewise. Next is the sedimentation chambers. So all agglomerated particles, or you can say, gets settled down in the sedimentation tanks. And next is the finally the, you can see, the filter unit, just like slow sand filters. But here it works from the establishment, because here there is no need to wait for development of, you can say, the julial layer, or you can say the vital layers of the filters. And after filtrations, we have to move for, you can say, the chlorination or disinfections of the waters. Most commonly we can say disinfection means chlorination in terms of the water treatment. So now after chlorination, you can say the clean waters that we get, sewage water, or sewage water or river water, we can say, gets purified, and that needs to be a storage and delivery to the consumers. So one by one, first is the coagulation. So river waters gets it. We have to treat the river water with the, you can say, the alum of concentration of 5 to 40 milligram per liter, but the concentration of the use of the, you can say, the alums depends upon the turbidity and color of the water, temperature of water, as well as pH of the waters. Second, that is in, you can say, the mixing chambers. Here we are performing the rapid mixing of the waters to the through the violent mechanical mixing, or that leads to the rapid distribution of the alum throughout the water. Next is the flocculation chamber, where there is a slow and gentle mechanical stirring of the waters for a period of about 30 minutes, and that leads to the generation of the thick flocculates of aluminum hydroxide. And finally, there is a, you can say, the sedimentation chambers, where waters are stored for a period of, you can say, 2 to 6 hours for settling down of the flocculates, settling down of the flocculates, and that may contains the, you can say, the various type of the impurities. These flocculates may contain the various type of the impurities as well as the microflora. And about in this sedimentation chamber, 95% of the precipitates or flocculates must get settled down, and that are removed by, you can say, the various cleaning operations of the sedimentation tank. Next is the filtration. So again, this filtration units of rapid sand filter, we can say, contains the filter bed. So when it's have a, you can say, the surface area of 80 to 90 square meter, sand particles, the size of the sand particles about 0.6 to 2 mm, gravels that is 30 to 40 centimeters, water layer that is 1 to 1.5 meter, filtration, it have a filtration rate of about 5 to 15 cubic meter per square meter of the surface area per hour. Then again, just like slow sand filter, when the head loss is of you can say rapid sand filter is 7 to 8 feet, then that is the time of cleaning of the rapid sand filters. And your rapid sand filter, you can say, this rapid sand filter cleaned by the process of the backwashing. So that's only in this, in the reverse process. So we have to flow waters from the bottom towards the tops. So all the impurities over the filter beds gets dislodged, and when that is judged by the, you can say, the coming out of the pure waters, or pure, you can say, clean waters or clean sand particles, or like. So that's only difference between cleaning operations of slow sand filter and rapid sand filters differs. In slow sand filters, the cleaning operations performed by the, you can say, the process of scraping, and in rapid sand filter, the cleaning operations performed by the process of bag washings. So there are certain advantage of, you can say, the rapid sand filters, that is, you know, this filter or filtration unit, you can say, does not require the prior storage of the waters. So filter beds actually occupy less surface area, less, you can say, a space, or so that's why it's suitable for, you can say, the larger or meteorological cities. And again, it's have, you can say, it filters 40 to 50 times more water than the, you can say, the biological filters. So again, we can say it have capability to fulfill the requirement of large number of the populations. So you can say washing process, just like back washing, is easy. So there are certain types of the flexibility in the operation. So now we can see the major difference behind the slow sand filters and rapid sand filters. So in case of the space requirements, so rapid sand filter require less space in compared to slow sand filters. The rate of the filtration, sand size, culinary treatments. Actually, the slow sand filter does not require only means storage and sedimentations, but here we require some chemical treatments like chemical coagulations, washing again, scraping and backwashing operations that slow sand filter less skill requires, and a rapid sand filter requires some highly skilled persons. So again, the turbidity and colors both have, you can say, good quality. Produces they removes color and turbidity, you can say, each of quality, and they again the removal of bacteria. So slow sand filters and removes 99.9 to 99.99% of the bacterial total bacteria, and however rapid sand filter only removes 98 to 99% of the total bacteria. The third steps of the, you can say, the purifications of water is disinfections. That is, you can say, in water purifications or water disinfections, it is synonymous with the term chlorinations. So chlorinations or disinfections only is supplements. You can say it can't act as a substitute for the filtration of waters. So there are certain properties of these chlorinations. We can say it kills all the pathogenic bacteria. However, it has no effect on the viruses like poliovirus, hepatitis virus, spores of the, you can say, the bacteria, or some, you can say, the protozoal spores, and but except in higher doses. So on a normal dose, it does not have any effects on these viruses as well as spores, but in higher doses, they can kill the viruses and will lyse the these spores. So along with germicidal effect, it also oxidizes the ferrous, manganese, hydrogen sulfide. It also eliminates the taste and odor producing substances. It again controls the growth of the algae and slime organisms, and again it coagulations of the suspended particles. So now the actions, how these, you can say, chlorine, and you can say most common source of the chlorine we can see is the bleaching powder. So actually there is two active compound we can say. One is the hypochlorous acid and second is the hypochlorite. So the major disinfectant action is due to the, you can say, hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorite ion get neutralized, you can say, by the alkalinity of the waters. So the disinfection actions of this bleaching powder is because of the hypochlorous acid, and in some instance or less instance due to the hypochlorite ion. Hypochlorous acid is 70 hypochlorous acid is 70 to 80% more active than the hypochlorite ion, and again the its best actions we can achieve that can achieved at a pH 7, and fortunately the pH of water varies from 6 to 7.5. At, you can say, the pH 8.5, the actions of chlorination is unreliable because 90% of the hypochlorous acid gets converted into the hypochlorite ion. So it, again the chlorinations backs on the, you can say, the various principles that we have to know. So first principle, batter should be clear and free from the turbidity. We have to estimate the chlorine demand. We have to, you can say, have to follow a contact period of 60 minutes. So the minimum concentrations of free chlorine or available free chlorine should be 0.5 milligram per liter for a period of 1 hour to prevent the post-treatment or post-disinfection contamination, and that is known as, you can say, the residual effect of, you can say, the chlorine. And finally, the estimations of the correct dose of the chlorine. That is, you can say that you calculates by the chlorine demand plus chlorine. Now we can see one by one definitions point of view. What is the chlorine demand? So it is the difference in the amount of the chlorine added and the amount of the residual chlorine, that is 0.5 milligram per liter for a period of 1 hour, residual chlorine at the end of a specific period of time, that is 1 hour at a given temperature and pH of the water. So you have to remember what is chlorine demand, and again that is the break point. So it is the point at which you can say the free chlorine gets starting emerging into the waters. So, or in different way, we can define it that it is the amount of chlorine needed to destroy water and destroy bacteria and oxidize organic matter and ammonical substances present in water. Or in other words, we can say the point at which free chlorine starts appearing in the water. The point at which chlorine demands of water is made. So that point is called as break point, and the chlorination by the use of, you can say, the break point, that is called as break point chlorinations. So the point at which free chlorines appears into the. So now the methods of chlorinations. So first we can use chlorination operations can be performed by the use of the chlorine gas. That is the, you can say, the first choice, and it replaced the, you can say, the other use of the other chlorine derivatives. It is cheap source of chlorine, quick in actions, efficient, easy to apply, but it again requires some type of the chlorinating equipments because it is irritant for your eyes, or you can say inhalations or likewise. Second compound is the chloramine, that is a loose compounds of the chlorine and ammonia, and again it decreases it has less tendency to give the chlorinous taste of the waters. So in other words, we can say it does not imparts the taste of the waters. Again increases the, you can say, persistence of the appearance of the residual chlorine, and its action is slower compared to the chlorine gas. Next, the perchlorone. So it is a calcium compound with 60 to 70% available chlorine. So breakpoint chlorination and free residual chlorination is the only reliable methods of the chlorination. So addition of chlorine till all the organic matter present is completely oxidized and a little amount of free chlorine is left in water. That is, you can say, breakpoint chlorinations. So superchlorination. So you can say additions of the more amount of the chlorine to lyse the viruses as certain types of the spores, but it requires removals by the process of chlorinations. So here that is this, you can say, superchlorinations as well as dechlorinations. You can say only, you can say, suitable methods for the heavily polluted waters, or the water source that you can say assume to contains the, you can say, the viruses and the spores of the various bacteria and parasites. So we can make the free chlorines as well as combined chlorines in the water by the test that is called as OT test or orthotolidine test. So this test is developed in 1918. So it detects both free as well as combined chlorines. So in this test, orthotolidine solutions in hydrochloric acid, that is 10%, are used, and that imparts the yellow colorations based on the proportion of the concentrations of the available free chlorines as well as combined chlorines. So it reacts instantly with the free chlorines. However, it reacts slowly with the combined chlorine, or you can say the bound chlorines. So these two free chlorines as well as combined chlorines can detect separately by the test that is called as, there is certain improvement in the orthotolidine test that is called as orthotolidine arsenate test, OTA test, you can say. So next is the, you can say, after chlorinations, there are certain other mechanism of disinfection of water that is called, again, is the maybe one of the ozonization. It have a, you can say, great potential of use, and it's first used in France in 1906. Uh, but it has certain type of the advantage as well as disadvantage. So it considered as a powerful oxidizing agents. It have capability to remove the undesirable, you can say, odor, color, and taste of the water, and it also inactivates the certain type of the viruses. However, it have a the disadvantage also. So as like you can say, chlorinations, it does not have any type of the residual effect, and it may be, you can say, used in a concentration of 0.2 to 1.5 milligram per liter of the water. Next is the UV radiation. So it is again effective against the most water containing microbes like bacteria, virus, yeast, but not used in the larger scale, because for penetrations of the, you can say, UV irradiation lights, we require to distribute the water at a thickness of about 120 mm, and the wavelengths that's most commonly used or may be used, you can say, for UV irradiations of the water is about 200 to 295 nanometer. It have again certain type of the disadvantage, because it also the ozonizations, or you can say UV radiations. We are not going to add anything extra. UV
सर
radiations, हाँ,
थोड़ा सा हिंदी यूज कीजिएगा ना।
UV जो irradiation यूज करते हैं हम लोग, तो इसमें क्या है कि जब जो वेवलेंथ यूज करते हैं 200 टू 295 नैनोमीटर वेवलेंथ, तो ये वेवलेंथ पेनेट्रेशन का के लिए जो वाटर का है उसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होना, वाटर टेबल जो है अबाउट 120 mm थिकनेस पे ये इफेक्टिवली काम करता है। अभी यूवी इरेडिएशन जब यूज करते हैं, तो जस्ट लाइक ब्लीचिंग पाउडर की तरह इसका कोई रेसिड्यूअल इफेक्ट नहीं है। ब्लीचिंग पाउडर में क्या था? क्लोरीन था। क्लोरीन एक इसका रेसिड्यूअल इफेक्ट कब तक?
पॉइजनस टॉक्सिक
5 मिलीग्राम रेसिड्यूअल इफेक्ट नेसेसरी था 1 आवर के लिए, वो पोस्ट कंटामिनेशन को रोकता था। यहाँ भी कैन से यहाँ कोई रेसिड्यूअल इफेक्ट नहीं है, वो टेस्ट को भी इफेक्ट कर रहा था, ऑर्डर को भी इफेक्ट कर रहा था। आप पीते हैं ना क्लोरीनेटेड वाटर, तो टेस्ट तो अल्टर होता है। सो यूवी रेडिएशन में भी यूज जब हम करें, तो कोई इसका टेस्ट पे इफेक्ट नहीं होता है, कोई ऑर्डर पे इफेक्ट नहीं होता है, कोई एक्सटर्नल सब्सटेंसेस वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू ऐड हियर। तो एक्सपोजर भी इसका बहुत शॉर्ट एक्सपोजर में काम कर लेता है। ओवर एक्सपोजर भी अगर कर देते हैं तो भी कोई इसका साइड इफेक्ट नहीं होता है। और जैसा कि हमने बताया कि कोई फॉरेन सब्सटेंस वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इंट्रोड्यूस और बट अगेन इट्स हाईली एक्सपेंसिव, खर्चीला है, जो इसके पास कोई रेसिड्यूअल एक्टिविटी नहीं है क्लोरीन की तरह, तो ये पोस्ट ट्रीटमेंट कंटामिनेशन को के पास प्रिवेंट करने की कैपेसिटी नहीं है। कलर एंड टर्बिडिटी, आप इसका डिफरेंटली दैट हैव यू कैन से रोल इन पेनेट्रेटिंग पावर ऑफ यूवी इरिटेशन। यूवी को तो आपका टर्बिड वाटर होगा, डेफिनेटली ये अफेक्ट करेगा। नो रैपिड टेस्ट, इसके कोई ऐसा कोई टेस्ट नहीं है इसके थ्रू आप इसके इफेक्टिवनेस को मेजर कर सकते हैं। जस्ट लाइक क्लोरिनेशंस, we can perform the effectiveness by the measuring of residual chlorines by the OT test or OTA test, either free chlorines or combined chlorines. Now, these two rapid sand filters, slow sand filters are part of the large scale purifications of water. We can perform purification of water on, you can say, a small scale, just like for use on house purpose, our house also, in your house also you can use. And the first and most, you can say, recommended way is the boiling of water. Boiling, rolling boiling, 10 से 15 मिनट तक आप बॉइल कर लीजिए वाटर को, तो then we can say the water gets purified. And again, but it have some types of the demerit, we can say it alters the taste of water. Boiled water कभी अच्छा नहीं लगता पीने में। Again, it also does not have any type of the residual effect. ये भी नहीं है कि आप बॉइल कर दिए, that gets free from contamination. But there are chances of post, you can say, treatment contamination. Next, maybe you at household you may disinfect water by the use of the certain chemical substances, and the most commonly or easily available substance is the bleaching powder. So bleaching powder mainly, as you can say, the contains, that's most important point you have to remember for examination purpose also. So bleaching powder have about 33% available chlorine. जो bleaching powder होता है, freshly prepared bleaching powder have 33% available chlorine. और जो भी disinfectant action होता है bleaching powder का, that is due to the available chlorine. So, but ये again a highly unstable compound है. So इसे हम डार्क अम्बर कलर और जो भी है सनलाइट से अवे ऐसे करके इसे प्रिजर्व करते हैं वरना ये ऑक्सीडाइज हो जाए. तो इसके स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए we can mix the bleaching powder with 0.5 milligram liter of with you can say lime, and that mixing of bleaching powder with lime is called as a stabilized bleach. A stabilized bleach, which is unstable compound. Bleaching powder alone जो है अनस्टेबल कंपाउंड्स है. व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू मिक्स ब्लीचिंग पाउडर विथ लाइम एंड दिस फॉर्म्स ए स्टेबलाइज्ड ब्लीच. सो स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ द यू कैन से ब्लीचिंग पाउडर इज मेंटेन्ड और क्लोरीन इज मेंटेन्ड. नेक्स्ट क्लोरीन टैबलेट्स. क्लोरीन टैबलेट्स जो है नाउडेज मोस्ट कॉमनली अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट्स. A tablet of about 5.5 grams is suitable for to disinfect about 20 liter of the waters. And first, you can say in India, first chlorine tablets prepared by NERI. NERI is situated at Nagpur, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. So, but it is costly and but again suitable for you can say a small scale of purification of water. Next is the iodine. A 2% solution of iodine may be used for disinfection of water, or 2 drops of the 2% iodine you can say suitable for disinfect 1 liter of the water. But again it's highly costly. But major disadvantage that you can say that is of health concern, हमारे health से related है, that it has certain type of the physiological activity. So it affects the our iodine जो यूज करते हैं ना आयोडीन युक्त साल्ट नमक, थायराइड और पैराथायराइड ग्लैंड्स के नहीं वाइटर से प्रिवेंट करने के लिए. So here we can you can say it have certain types of the effect on you can say physiological effect just like thyroid glands. So again this is considered as a major disadvantage. Most commonly also asked in examination this in regions based questions or like why iodine is not you can say suitable for disinfection or most common suitable for or used for disinfection of the water. So next is the chlorine solution. We can use chlorine solutions by and we prepare it by addition of the 4 kg bleaching powder with at least available of the 5% in 5% you can say available chlorines in by the addition in 20 liter of the water that gives about you can say 25% of the available chlorine. Next is the water filters. There are various type of the household water filters are available. Maybe previously that are mainly we know the water filters are filtration unit of the household filters are based on their candles or filters. So there are various type of the filter, Chamberlain filter, Workeyfeld filter, and these have different and their candle is maybe made of you can say silver coating. Silver coating again have the property to agglomerate the you can say the bacterial or virus property by virals or viral organisms, and some are you can say porcelain waste or kieselguhr, that is called as kieselguhr or porcelain. So again these are certain type of the candles of you can say household filters. Now the most important point you may understand better way, that is disinfection of well. Wells are you can say are nowadays also a certain area that is the most common source of the community water supply. So it not supply a single household, it's mainly supply the waters to the community. So there are, if there is any type of the outbreak, we can say of the gastrointestinal diseases or diarrheogenic diseases, just like cholera or other diseases, there so whole there are chances of the suffering of the whole of the community. So we have to at least know prevent the, you can say, or to minimize the, you can say, risk of the community by disinfection of the bales under maybe under emergency situations, or you can say under daily use, normal use, regular use. So first, for disinfection of the bale, we have to, you can say, measures the volume of the water. We have to determine the volume of the water. We have to determine the amount of required bleaching powder. Volume of the well can be determined by the formula given here, that is 3.14 into diameter square into height divided by 4 multiplied by 1000. So D stands for here diameter in meter, and H stands for, you can say, depth of the water table in meter. So by this you may determine the total volume of the well water. Next is the amount of bleaching powder. How much amount of bleaching powder you have to add for disinfection of the whole amount of the water of the well. So it is generally recommended that 2.5 grams of the freshly, you can say, prepared bleaching powder suitable for 1000 liters, or you may determine the total amount of the bleaching powders required to disinfect the well or any quantity of the well water by a apparatus that is called as Horrocks apparatus. Horrocks apparatus, that is actually 6 set of cup, and that filled with some types of the sands or mixing with the bleaching powders, and by putting this, that's given in more details in the PARC textbook. That may I. In general, 0.5 milligram of the chlorine per liter of the water it gives by.
सर
हाँ,
ये जो वॉल्यूम का फॉर्मूला है सर, वो तो सिंपल सिलेंडर का ही फॉर्मूला है सर।
हाँ तो सिलेंडर ही है क्या? ये जो वॉल्यूम है, आपको जो फार्मूला लगाइएगा तो टोटल वॉल्यूम ही लीटर दे देगा। बस इतना ही मुझे पता है, कितना लीटर पानी है कुएं में, ये चीज मुझे वो बता देगा। उसके बाद वॉल्यूम जब डिटरमाइन हो गया, हॉरक्स सेपरेटर से उस वाटर का आपको कितना अमाउंट क्लोरीन ब्लीचिंग पाउडर लगेगा वो पता चल जाएगा। वो पता
सर तो हाइट वही ना लेंगे सर जितना में वो पानी रहेगा?
हाँ, वाटर टेबल का ही हाइट लेंगे।
Yes,
जो
sir.
भी होगा आपका, डेप्थ जो भी होगा या हाइट जो भी होगा, वो सिर्फ वाटर टेबल का होगा।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? तो
Yes.
सो जो वाटर जो इसमें हम ब्लीचिंग पाउडर यूज करते हैं, सो वी हैव टू मेक ए, you can just solution of the bleaching powder in a bucket, and you have to discard the, you can say, the lime or you can say sediments to prevent the, you can say, the water become getting hard. So water क्या होता है कि sediments, lime जो है, lime को हम पहले remove कर देते हैं, so because it have some type of effect on hardness of the waters. और जो solution बनाते हैं bucket में, उस solution को हम पानी में add कर देते हैं, maybe bucket के through, and we are, you can say, we have to mix the whole waters of the well by, you can say, by the vertical or horizontal movement of the buckets, or you can say leave it for 1 hour in the well, and again this efficiency you may determine by the OT test or OTA test. OTA test के थ्रू determine कर लीजिए कितना इसमें available क्लोरीन है 1 घंटे के बाद, ठीक है? So that's आप उसके बेसिस पर आप मेजर कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद एक नेरी का, नेशनल एनवायरमेंटल इंजीनियरिंग रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट नागपुर ने जो दिया है, that is a double pot methods for disinfection of the well. So for continuous release of the chlorine into well, it's the bucket is placed 1 meter below the water level, and it's, you can say, satisfactory. If the satisfactory results for disinfection of the well water at least for 2 to 3 weeks, with a, you can say, water capacity of the well is about 4,500 liters, with a daily consumption rate of 360 to 450 liters per day. तो ये कुछ नहीं होता है, डबल बकेट से बीच में जो बीच का जो पोर्शन बकेट होता है, सेंटर बकेट तो होता है, इनर बकेट भी कैन से उसमें ब्लीचिंग पाउडर और कोअर सैंड के साथ मिक्स कर देते हैं, ऊपर से कवर कर देते हैं। इसमें 2 होल होता है, एक्सटर्नल होल होता है और एक अंदर वाले में होल होता है। जब आप वाटर बाहर वाले बकेट में वाटर टेबल आ गया, सो ये इस होल से वाटर इसमें से पेनिट्रेट करते रहेगा और कॉन्स्टेंटली बाय द यू कैन से डिफरेंट जो प्रोसेस है ऑस्मोसिस का जो भी है उसके थ्रू ये रिलीज होते, कांस्टेंट रिलीज होते रहेगा। सो इट्स मैंने आउटब्रेक जब एरिया में होते थे तो ये डबल पॉट मेथड काफी कारगर होता था कांस्टेंट डिसइंफेक्शन करने के लिए। ठीक है मित्र, थैंक यू।
नहीं, यस सर।
समझ में आया कि नहीं समझ में आया? जो
यस सर, यस सर।
जो डबल पॉट मेथड है वो नेरी ने बनाया है। इसमें क्या होता है कि 2 बकेट होता है, दोनों बकेट में एक पे बॉटम पर एक में टॉप पर, इनर में टॉप पर और एक्सटर्नल जो बकेट होता है उसमें बॉटम पे होल होता है। इनर बकेट में आप ब्लीचिंग पाउडर को सैंड के साथ मिक्स करके रख देते हैं, ठीक है। और
यस सर।
बाहर के बकेट जो होल होता है उससे पानी इंटर करता है और एक्सटर्नल भी होता है, कांस्टेंट यूज होते रहता है ब्लीचिंग पाउडर का। तो एक लंबे समय तक पानी को हम डिसइंफेक्ट कर सकते हैं। बकेट को डाल के बेल में छोड़ दीजिए। आगे पूछिए जो पूछना है।
सर वो क्या क्वेश्चन बता रहे थे सर वहाँ पे, आयोडीन क्लोरीन, वो वहाँ पे बताइए तो थोड़ा सा।
आयोडीन होता है that have potency, that is again considered as oxidizing agent. It have potency to disinfect water, ठीक है। But again there are certain demerits of the iodine. One is it does not have any type of the residual effect. Second, it may be costly. And third, it has certain type of the physiological activity. So as we know, iodine is required for, you can say, for prevention of the goiter, है ना, थायराइड और पैराथायराइड। तो अगेन जब हम आयोडीन कांस्टेंट रूप में यूज करते हैं पानी में, so that may affect our the certain physiological activity related to the thyroid or parathyroid. ठीक है,
ठीक है सर।
और बोलिए कुछ। क्वेश्चंस बहुत कम आता है, जो आता है वो मुझे भी नहीं पल्ला पड़ता है। पल्ला मतलब इन द सेंस वो अभी रिलेवेंट नहीं लगता है।